Here we go.
Okay. My name is Dr. Elias Jackson. I'm president of research and development at Vyripharm Biopharmaceuticals. It's a biotech firm in Houston, Texas, and we focus on the development of novel pharmaceuticals for precision medicine. And in our pipeline, we have drug formulations that have an origin in cannabinoids, or cannabis, so to speak. So when we talk about the endocannabinoid system, all right, it's basically a endogenous, and when I say endogenous, it is a natural system. I mean, you have it when you're born, all right? All of us have this system. And what's interesting is that scientists now believe that it's important for homeostasis, meaning that it is the system, our natural system, involved in various physiological processes, mood, pain sensation, appetite, stress. So we believe that this system, just as he said before, this is a system that you're born with to help you get through those stressors, whether it's oxidative, whether it's psychological, whether it's environmental, to help you get through those. It's your natural system. Now, within the system, there are several lipids. This is one aspect of the system, and they are your endogenous cannabinoids, okay? Now, when we talk about cannabis, those are exogenous. Those are our THC, our CBD, but they still function in that system to stimulate and to cause that system to kick in. Now, along with the endogenous cannabinoids, there are also receptors. These are the constituents that the lipids will bind to, the cannabinoids will bind to. That binding will give the signal for whatever process that's necessary to start. And these receptors are called cannabinoid 1 and cannabinoid 2, CB1 and CB2. What's interesting is that we're seeing that CB1 actually, if there's a subunit, it could be CB1A or CB1B. That's just to let you know how novice the scientific community is in reference to understanding this system. And finally, there are enzymes that actually break down these cannabinoids, because after you get them going, working, you need to be able to break them down once whatever the stimulation was, whatever the stress was, is taken care of. Now you need to get them, stop them from working, so to speak. So that is the endocannabinoid system, and also coupled with that are the neurological pathways associated with that communication, and that is called the endocannabinoid system. Now, just to give you a little background on myself, I am a complete advocate of the use of marijuana and cannabis. And that comes from not only seeing the reactions of parents, but the actual patients, including members of my family. I have 3 children, and I just have to say they all are using some form of cannabis-based lotions or salves, because you know they're in that stage of pimples and acne. And once I started them on those products, you know, all those issues have subsided. Now, the sad part is, as a scientist, if you ask me, well, why did that happen? We don't know. That's why it's important for you guys to get involved with Women's Grow, Greenleaf, TCIA, which is the Texas Cannabis Industry Association. All these organizations here in Texas are very, very important for the advocate of this use, but also for holding back some of the individuals or companies that may want to take it in a different direction. And I say that because I just recently went to the NIH conference in DC. This was the NIH Summit on Marijuana and Cannabis for Neurological Disease. While I was there, the director of the NIH said this was the first conference that he's been to where he had every head of NIH organization. That's the National Institutes of Mental Health, National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Engineering, National Institute of Cancer, National Institute of Drug Abuse. all of the heads were there. And the one thing that I saw, which was very pleasing, the NIH is dedicated to seeing this move to where basic science research can begin wholeheartedly on. Now, the other thing that I saw when the policy individuals got up there to speak, they were saying that the recommendation will be coming down. Now, this happened in late March. The recommendation that he mentioned was sent to the DEA April 4th. And that recommendation came from the head of the National Drug Policy, the head of the FDA, and I think the head of the NIH. And you can download it online. I'll send that link to Andrea, and she can send out to you guys. And where they basically stated to the DEA that they are behind moving this to a different schedule, Schedule 2. Now, here's the problem that was mentioned. As you recall, cigarettes. If you look at a cigarette, there's less tobacco in a cigarette, and there's more chemicals to, I guess, increase the profit margin. We don't want that to happen with marijuana. We cannot. The only way that can be stopped is with partnering with companies like Greenleaf, Women's Grow, and you guys. You're the front lines of this. Can you imagine epileptic children, children with ADHD, our family members with cancer taking a non-organic cannabinoid or cannabinoid that's been manufactured to increase addiction, so to speak? You see, we don't really want that. And when you move to Schedule 2, the big guys are coming in. Now, that's not to say that all the big guys are horrible. No, they definitely do good, but we're talking about money. And there's going to be people looking at how can I take advantage of this opportunity. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys coming out, and please don't let this be your first and last. Get involved. This is kind of like prohibition for alcohol, except now we don't have to worry about liver damage. we can self-medicate.
So we'll be safer with more local companies making our product. Is that what you mean?
Well, here's the thing. We need to be, that's true. We want to definitely
Can you repeat what she said?
She said, is it safer with...
It's very softly.
You want me to
project. Yes. Project.
So for the safety of the medications that we're going to give our children on a day-to-day basis, maybe every 5 hours a day, we want to make sure that we're getting it from a local grower that knows how to make the product and make it safe.
We
right?
definitely want to make sure that we utilize growers that are organic.
Right.
And make sure that because the problem is, once the big guys, if it does move to Schedule 2, and what's so amazing is that last year we were just at the Capitol trying to get a more comprehensive bill passed, but we got the CBD bill passed, which is definitely opening the doors. But now, all of a sudden, they are really thinking about moving it to Schedule 2. I was thinking 2020 or 2021, but this basically says, and this was a month ago when they said they were going to support it, and they've already sent the recommendation down. And the DEA said that this summer they will decide. Wow. So a lot of things are happening fast, and just as Andrea said, whatever industry you're associated with, you can take that industry and move it into the cannabis industry. From a background of research, this could be the next holy grail. Because now pathologists can do research to understand, okay, how is this affecting our kids? Okay, development is a very important issue because, yes, while I've seen the results that it works, we still must ask the question, how does it affect the developing child? A child taking high levels of THC, and their developing brain. Is there some recession going on? What is the issue there? Is it going to affect them? One thing we saw at the conference is that adults are able to handle large amounts of THC without a problem. But the question is still out there whether or not what's the issue with kids. And also it was a little skewed because you got to remember, a lot of these guys were supported by certain factions of the government, so their research was to find the bad things about marijuana. They necessarily wasn't trying to find out how good it was. So, but regardless of the fact, the movement is there, and with your support, we can definitely continue to try to make this a worthwhile endeavor, a worthwhile industry, without any of the problems associated with the tobacco industry and other negative things we've seen like in the alcohol industry. So I just want to thank you guys for coming out.